I knew playing with that Rubik's Cube, I couldn't solve that puzzle. And it was going to come back to bite me. Now you got something to show me?
I do. We are going to rank the HELLRAISER movies today.
Join us. Alright, as you could tell by our little intro skit, if you will, Tony participated. And it's much better when we all participate.
Let me tell you, these little needles about poking my eyes out.
Yeah, these are two classic I say, HELLRAISER masks. These are real early productions of them, right around the first when the movies come out in the 80s, when I got start getting a little cash. But anyway,
you wouldn't think the little needle thingies would be going on the inside, but they are.
I had to put them all in by hand.
So they're like poking me all over.
Alright, you want to start this list?
What you want to start with? Like my worst ranking one?
You know, if you want to, you can start with number 7.
No, we don't do that.
I mean, why you ask?
Well, I didn't know if we was doing best first, or I couldn't remember how we did it. Come on, man. Give me a break.
We always start at the bottom. And I didn't leave room on the board for our joint group.
I thought we were stopping that. But anyways, there are 11 of these.
Stopping that?
And
no.
This was probably the worst franchise for me to have to sit through. Some of them are decent, some of them are not. But my very worst one, the worst one ever, is number 10.
Number 10. Yeah. What is that? What's the name of that one?
Judgment.
That one right there. Judgment.
Now, that one.
I'm going to jump in right here too.
Okay.
Hate to stop you.
Now go ahead.
But you know what my least favorite one is too?
Judgment.
Judgment.
Yes.
Get on board, people. The last 3 movies, from what I read on Wiki, wasn't even really HELLRAISER movies. The only reason they got HELLRAISER put in it is to get them made. Just to get them made. Cheaper production value. The last 2 doesn't actually have Doug Bradley in it. Has some other, well, the last 3 doesn't have Doug Bradley in it. But the last 2 actual pinhead, male pinheads, doesn't have Doug Bradley in it.
So what didn't you like about number 10?
What didn't I like about number 10? The low budget starts, but it was very kind of YouTube-ish. A haunted house, commercial style. You know, kind of give you maybe like an escape room type vibe they were going for off of it. Like I said, in my notes, I'm writing, seems very low budgeted. I think it was straight to DVD or straight to streaming. I don't know exactly which one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, there was the 3 detectives in there. And one of them, 2 of my brothers, and the girl Christine, and they lead you to this abandoned house where one of them loses consciousness and he wakes up in hell, and then he all of a sudden has the box. So then, you know, he gets he ends up being the one that he says he's the killer. He gets the other two, gets them to the house, and then has one of them, his brother, to reveal that he had an affair with his wife, and so it's just crazy. I don't know. I know at the end it ends up being that Pinhead arranges for the girl detective to kill Sean, one of the brothers, against the angel. What is the angel's name? Jophiel. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, there was a good angel in there.
Yeah, and Sean.
Where'd that come from?
And she said that Sean needs to be saved. Is it a she or a he?
It was a he.
He.
She. It was a she.
She. Okay, it was a she.
The female angel.
I couldn't remember. And then, so when Pinhead goes against the angel's orders, God expels Pinhead at that point from hell and forces him to walk the earth as a mortal man.
Yeah, he didn't get killed. He just got expelled from heaven.
From hell.
Yeah, it not good.
So I just didn't like the whole plot of it, I guess.
Not good at all.
So, well, good. We're in agreement for that to be the worst one.
All right. Well, you want to go with the next one, or you want me to go?
Sure, you can go. It's your turn now.
Well, seeing how I done pointed out the bottom three, or not the bottom three, but the last three that had a male Pinhead, not the one released on Hulu, was cheaply made and looked like they were anchored in, pigeonholed in to be even a Pinhead movie or HELLRAISER movie. My next one is Revelations.
And that is number 9.
Revelations. And like I said, it didn't look right neither. The chains coming out of Pinhead were different. It was a road trip with two dudes. They went to Mexico. Funny, when you go to Mexico, you expect to see some, I don't know, Mexicans. They all looked white, like they were from your local.
They were either Americans or they were Asian in Mexico. No Mexicans.
Yeah, they looked like they were from your local acting class. You know, your rural, urban, the country acting class. You know, we can't afford to get some variety of people here. So that's what they went with. Whites and, like she said, looked to me like maybe in some Asian actors, Asian Americans. There was a found footage style, which I don't like that style neither. I really don't. And it started off with shaky cam because it was found footage. And then no Doug Bradley again. And there was 1 or 2 kills got back to life. 2 people, I think, came back to life in this one almost. Well, 1. Let me restate that. There was 1 person come back to life, kind of like in part 1 and part 2 is what I'm going with. Yeah. So it did kind of throw back to the earlier movies by bringing somebody back to life. And surprisingly, it's not who we thought come back to life. You know, if you haven't watched it, spoiler, it's the bad guy of the 2 that come back to life.
Don't he how did it get into the other guy's body, or how does he do that?
Yeah, he to give it away, he had the other guy start bringing him bodies, just like
women. He brought him women to
just get him back to life, just like Uncle Frank did.
Yeah.
And then once he got to the point, the other guy said he was done doing it. Well, he only needed 1 more body to do. So what's he do? So he kills the guy that brought him the bodies to get his skin. That's all he needed left was the skin.
So then he comes back to America, to his families, as the other guy, and they think he's the other guy. And he's not. He's the boyfriend of the girl that... It's just crazy. It's all, there's flashbacks, and then it shows, you know, what happened. And
Low budget. TV, it wasn't even made for TV kind of budget. It was lower than that budget, I think.
Yeah, and as much as I didn't like this one is not my next one that is on my list.
Well, since you talked about it, where is it at?
It is probably number, let's go see. Yep. I'll put it where I have it. Number right here.
I figured it was right there, so if it wasn't right there, you know, if it wasn't next in line, it had to be the one above that, because, you know, these are bottom feeders. Just tell you that. So what is your number 10? And the good news is it made the top 10. Your choice.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Deader.
Well, I'm going to give you this one right here because it's a
six
movie set.
Yep, it's got 6 of them on there and 1 DVD. Well, not 1 DVD, 1 case.
Yeah.
There's several DVDs in there. I guess there would be 6 DVDs, right? Or no, maybe not, because there's more on. There's like 3 on one, or 2 on one, or something like that.
Yeah, there's two on the first one, 2 on the second one, and only 1 on.
Oh.
No, 2 on. There's 3 on this one.
3. So there's 3 DVDs in this one. So 6 movies on there. But yeah, my number 8, 9. No, my number 10 is number 8. I didn't like that one at all. It was about a reporter who was sent to Bucharest. How do you say that? Bucharest? Is that the name of it? Anyway, she's sent somewhere.
Where's it at? Yeah.
I don't know if I spelled it right.
Yeah.
To investigate a video that shows a murder, and then that person is brought back to life. They call themselves the Deaders. That's where the name comes from. So she tracks down the address of the tape and discovers the dead girl that sent the video, and well, she discovers her dead after she tracks down the girl that sent the video.
Kari Ward played that part, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down here. Kari Ward, and I don't know who that is.
For the old people, she played in remote control.
So, and the dead girl's holding the box. So, of course, the girl takes the box, returns to her hotel, and what do you think she does? She opens the box. She solves the box, and therefore summons Pinhead. So it's about her digging into the realm, and then she meets some people, and she ends up back to where the cult is. The leader of the cult's name is Winter. He's a descendant of the toy maker who originally designed the box. He believes he is destined to access the realm and become the master. So it's all about all that, and I don't know. I just didn't like this one.
I liked it. I liked it better than the bottom 2 on my list, and I put it at 6, by the way, because it's really hard to pick. Some of these movies, there's extreme bottoms, and then there's a group of extreme bottoms, and then there's the better ones at the top. There really ain't no middle ground. A lot of these, probably from 4 or 5 down, just are. You may like them. I'm not judging anybody, but wow. Kari Ward put it up for me. I remember her when I was younger, and so that's points that it went up for me.
I never knew who she was because I didn't watch Remote Control.
So, all right, my number 9 is Bloodline.
Which is number... Wow,
It's on this
number
DVD
4.
with 6.
It's number 4. HELLRAISER 4.
Bloodline. Let me flip back to my notes. It's in space. Come on. That alone right there brings these slasher type movies down. Once you start putting somebody in space, come on. Yeah, the origin of the box, there's a new villain type. It's a hellspawn, evil lady. New cinobytes were in this one. Death, the star blew up. But come on, let's be honest. Once you put one of your slasher movies in space, they did this with Jason as well. Once you start doing that, you've really, for me, jumped the shark. Not much else to say about that one, for me at least.
I don't know where, I'll have to look and see where it is on my list. But it starts off in the year 2127. And yeah, like you said, and then they go back to 1796 where the first merchant, the toy maker, makes the box and sells it to another man who uses it as the portal to hell. They kill the toy maker. When he tries to get the box back, his wife was pregnant, so of course there's the descendant showing right there. And it just goes on down the line until you reach the man that's in space.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the end, the whole spaceship blows up, and it's supposedly killing Pinhead and his followers permanently. Oh, and so it is number, let's see where that is on my list. Well, I don't know why, but I put that as number, I'm confusing myself. What number?
She doesn't know why.
I think I got it higher.
Bloodline.
Number 4. You're confused because I got them by numbers, not names. Number 4 is actually my number 3.
Wow,
I know,
people.
in space. It's crazy, ain't it?
Wow, like I said, maybe she likes once they start going to space.
I really don't. That's how bad these movies are.
Where was you putting the Jason in space at?
Probably last. That one was terrible.
Yeah, but I could see a space battle coming if they would release the IP address. Like I said, the later movies, I think they start just putting them out so they wouldn't lose the contracts for them. Because you gotta put a movie out or you lose it. It goes out to the world if you don't do something with your franchise. All right, number 8, sweetie.
All right, Inferno.
Go ahead and write Inferno down for me too.
All right.
Inferno, if you're playing along with us, is HELLRAISER number 5.
Made in the year 2000.
And we ranked it number 8. Go with yours.
I just put, mine is a very short description this time. It's about a corrupt detective. He discovers the box and takes it home and he solves it and begins having all these hallucinations about murders and the engineer who is doing the murders, and then he leaves child's fingers at the murder site, and then the detective goes to therapy and his therapist is Pinhead.
Wasn't it also like the deadly sins in this one as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think all the murders were based on the deadly sins. Then I just got that he the hooked chains ensnare him and he dies. So I didn't have much of a description on this. So
yeah, I had some weird cop type stuff, and I had into a Pinhead movie. It was more of a cop movie that transferred into a Pinhead movie. It could have very well easily been a Saw movie. It just twisting the plot.
It reminded me of a Saw movie.
It reminded me of some Twilight Zone stuff. I thought it was very artsy type vibe with it as well. Just not my thing. Hence the reason we put it at number 8. And alright, I'm going to jump to 7. 7 for me is HELLRAISER.
Same for me.
You want me to write it on yours,
Yep.
or you want to keep yours going?
Yep, you go
Pretty
ahead.
handwriting.
Well, I could have done it. You're having trouble reaching it.
All right, there it is. HELLRAISER.
Number 6. That's the number 6.
Number 6, you say?
Yep.
Well, go ahead. You go with your description.
Well, I don't know if you watched any of the earlier ones, so you may not know who this is, but I've got Kirsty returns in this one.
Were you sure it wasn't Kristen?
No, it's Kirsty.
With an I?
Okay. I know what you're doing. It's like,
I don't know.
that's from How I Met Your Mother, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Kirsty returns. She was in like number 1, 2, and maybe 3. I'm not sure now. She's with her husband, Trevor. They're in a car accident, and she dies. That's how it makes you think. In the beginning, they have no luck finding her body. He wakes up in the hospital a month later and realizes that his wife is missing. He has no memory of things. He ends up being the suspect in this murder case because they can't find his wife. He witnesses his friend commit suicide. I don't want to read you my whole thing here, but pretty much he was cheating on her with several women, and she is the one. Let's see, Kirsty pinned all the murders. Oh, she killed all those mistresses and pins the murders on him.
Once again, it could be a Jigsaw movie type, almost.
And so, so she shoots him in the head while driving, leading him to crash into the river and making his death appear as a suicide. And then she walks away with the box in her hand.
She's sketchy from movie 1, by the way. She is a very hard to root for final girl. And she's even sketchier in this movie. Oh, by the way, the guy who plays Mayhem is the main character in this. He's big time in this movie. He's the main dude. And yeah, she swapped her soul for his soul and 6 others. She had to package some of them together to get out of the puzzle once again.
Yeah.
So technically, she's out there still. If you want to bring her back.
That's true, because she walked away. She might be in the next HELLRAISER movie.
So, yeah.
Although she walked away with the box in her hand, what did she do with the box? Because it ended up in, number 7 with the next bunch of people.
They really don't connect
so
well the deal. Some of them do, some of them don't, but there is no connection.
You really don't find out.
There ain't a lot of reboots on it neither.
Yeah, you really don't find out how, what did she do with the box? You got other people just end up finding it somewhere. Well, how did she lose the box? I don't know. So,
all right, your number 6, because I already got my deader up there.
Oh, Let's what do we got? Hellseeker. I don't know. I'm losing track because I should have wrote down the names beside the numbers here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2.
Number 2.
Which is Hellbound.
It's the Hellbound Heart. The Telltale Heart. Which some say the Pinhead character is loosely based off of a Poe character that Craven read and adapted into some short stories. But go ahead.
I guess Kirsty is in this one. She's in a psych hospital after, her family is gone crazy. She tells the story to her doctor there, and says they need to burn the mattress that Julia died on, or she'll come back just like Frank did. So they're trying to find this mattress because the doctor ends up getting it, and he, what does he do? Doctor, a mental patient cuts himself on a mattress, so we'll bring Julia back. She came back a lot more whole than Frank did. He had to drink blood of about 3 people before he looked like that. Yeah,
and brings back Julia, by the way.
Yep.
She's in this movie.
Julia's back.
Just like Frank come back.
Yeah, she finds Kyle. She sucks the blood out of him. Dr. P and J bring Box back to Tiffany at the hospital. Tiffany is in the hospital with Kirsty. She does puzzles but never speaks. No one knows who her real identity is. She opens the box, and Tiffany and Kirsty enter. Kirsty looks for her dad. Frank is there. Julia kills him and Doctor.
This was set up in hell. A lot of this was.
That's why I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole, I don't know.
They went through a porthole and they were in hell.
They were in there doing all this. And
started out in the psych ward, and then they all got transported to hell, basically.
Yeah, and then they escape. Tiffany and Kirsty escape. Hellraiser comes by for Kirsty. She reminds them how they were all human once. So she's saved again. And then at the end, it shows some moving men at Dr. P's house. Dr. Phillips. I just abbreviated that. They find the mattress, and one of the moving men gets pulled in, and he dies.
By the way, Doug Bradley didn't want to play Pinhead in the original movies. He wanted to play one of the moving men because he wanted to be able to show his face off. He didn't want to be in the makeup and the prosthetics. Great decision to be Pinhead because he's making money to this day. And the 2 moving guys, did they go on to even have an acting career?
He could have probably done both. Since they don't know what, it's hard to see what Pinhead actually looks like. You could have played that part.
Yeah.
And then
but they were working with some money. They had a budget. They wasn't on a tight schedule. My big takeaway with it is at the end, they did a Scooby-Doo on you. She was wearing Julia's skin and then pulled it off to reveal it was Kirsty. A big Scooby-Doo reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody knows Scooby-Doo.
Okay, so you had yours as number 4.
So now we're up to 5.
Yep.
Number 5 for me would be Hell World. Hell World is still available on her board, I see. I do see. So it's probably going to go in here at 4 or 5, I think.
Hell World is Hellraiser number 7, by the way.
It is number 7. For you to keep it along. 7. Hell World is number 7. And it's part of this collection we got.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put mine up on the board where it's at. Right here.
Knew it had to be close there. Alright, starts off with the funeral. There's a group of people and they're playing a video game. It's more of a, it really developed into a slasher type because they had young teenagers or tweenies in this one, a lot of them. And, you know, when you introduce a bunch of characters, that just means there's going to be more killings. So there was a lot more killings in it. Like I said, it started off with a game. They even was playing it on the online video. So it ages itself a lot, you know, therefore, because it did, you know, like I said, computer games and graphics like that. Yeah, but it become more of a slasher cliche. As soon as you had sex, smoked dope, or something like that, that's when you got it. Yep, and there was like I said, more teenagers, more drugs, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what he said. The funeral of the guy, he was so obsessed with it that he committed suicide, and the 5 friends left blamed themselves for not preventing his death. The guy's father was the host of a party. They were invited all to this party.
At a mansion.
Yep, at a mansion, and it ends up being the dead guy's father.
The father.
The father. So, yeah, like you said, they all end up, there was 2 left at the end that was not killed, but then they were buried alive, and one of them had a cell phone in there, and so the police found and
pinged it and found it.
Yeah, and unburied. Was it the girl?
I think so.
My notes are very, I need to do better notes because I got a phone call from C's phone.
Because, you know, if you know and you do better, you do better. You act better.
Oh, so then, yeah, let's see.
You do better.
Last thing
you know better, you do better.
The police entered the bedroom where the father was, and where he had opened the box, and the walls were smeared with blood, and the box was just laying on the floor. So there.
Like I said, if you know better, you do better. All right,
I got too detailed of notes, is what it is.
You gotta put number 5 up. Yeah, she got too much detail. She had to finish notes up just today, people.
Yep.
She wikied her notes.
I had to because I just take too much notes and I get caught up in every little detail that happens.
Wiki.
Yep. Number 11, the reboot.
The reboot.
I liked it. It wasn't bad, but I mean, you see, it made it up to the top 5. Apparently, it does on Kenny's as well. I'm
not going to put mine on the board yet, just quite yet, because it's going to be a surprise where the reboot is on mine. I liked it a lot more than my wife did.
Well, I liked it. I really did. I mean, if it's top 5, I liked it. So.
They returned to having a big budget. I thought Hulu. It was made for Hulu. Mm-hmm. I think it currently is on Netflix right now running.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. It originally run on Hulu, and now I think it's on Netflix. You get to see some different configurations of the box. Mm-hmm. Some long ones instead of just the triangle or the square.
Yeah, it was like a long point.
Yeah. And it had the 2 ends on it, kind of like a shaker. When you shake up and you drink your protein shakes out of it. Or a hourglass. It kind of looked like that at times. And there was a guy bringing people in to try the game out, and he tricked them into robbing it. And his whole house was designed to beat the puzzle and to prevent the cinobytes to get into him. Or if they did get in, they couldn't get out.
Right. He had steel doors and bars and stuff like that all over.
His whole house was a trap.
Yep.
Yep. I guess I'll go ahead and put it up since I did have talked about it. And for me, well, it would have been real close anyway.
Okay, yeah, so that's what your next one. So yeah, here's number 3 instead of number 5.
I'll call it the reboot as well. Oh, and surprise, Doug Bradley's not in this one. There is a female pinhead in this one.
She's called the Priest, though.
Yeah. The High Priest. I think a lot of the other cinobytes were very, very reminiscent of the same of the biters and
doesn't cinobytes remind you of something you order from Domino's?
Cinobytes. I do like some cinobytes.
All right.
All right, so now we're down to our final 2. And
wow.
Yeah. What you got?
My number 2 is number 3, which is Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth. That's my number 2.
Well, look at that. We don't see each other's lists before we do this. This is my first time seeing his. And same with him. So sometimes it's surprising. I should have just wrote it.
Yep. I got Hell Earth and you got Hell Deed Earth. I really butchered that up.
So that's number 3. That was about the club owner. The Pillar of Souls is in this one.
It is the Pillar of Souls.
Yes, the club owner. Joey sees a guy in chains at the hospital. Came from night club. Oh, the club is called the Boiler Room. Chains come from the puzzle. Kill the dude. Jay investigates. Finds Terry who has a box. Okay, you might want to do this one.
Yeah, and the Pillar of Souls. My function Sean owns it, by the way. He's bought it. He's got a video of it, watching it be moved into his house.
You should watch that.
Yep, that's an exciting video. Yep, so it is a real thing. It's back before they were putting all CGI and stuff. The Pillar of Souls, Pinhead's actually encased in the Pillar of Souls, and then they start pulling people close enough to the Pillar of Souls where Pinhead starts killing them right there, and then he eventually comes out of the Pillar of Souls, and he goes on a rampage in the club. The main reason it's up high to me is he's out on the streets, walking the streets of Greensboro, North Carolina, in case anybody wants to know, right up above the club that we go to watch some bands play.
Condemn.
Yep, right on that same street. You can see some shots of it. The whole street was used. And then there's a parking lot used there. And then the final scene is shot in Charlotte. There's a big gold round statue. That's a second one because there's one over in Europe someplace. It's a remodel that our stepdaughter, my stepdaughter, has pictures of now. She's got it on her videos. You can watch her. Hello Mother is her videos. So, yeah, I really liked it. It was pretty good. It was probably one of the last ones that had a big budget. Pinhead plays a major part in this. And like I said, there is Greensboro and Charlotte representation. So I know these places.
Yes.
So that made it, when I was watching it, it made it higher on the list. It's supposed to be in New York. And they've shot most of it in, if not all of it, in Greensboro, Charlotte area. Yeah, that's the reason it's number 2 for me. And what does that leave? It's got to leave.
Number 1, the original Hellraiser. Is
Right.
still the best one to this day.
Yeah, there's number 2.
Number 1 was made in 87, by the way. It's got Julia in it that we were talking about, that she was in, probably number 2. And it's got Frank. Julia and Larry move into this house, and it was revealed that Julia had an affair with Frank years ago. Well, some of Larry's blood gets...
Larry?
That's her husband.
Okay.
Julia's husband. So
He cuts himself on a nail.
Yeah, and his blood goes down, and so there it brings Frank back to life with that blood. And he talks Julia into bringing men into the house for him to suck more blood out of.
It's kind of a vampire.
So yeah,
yeah. But yeah, Frank comes back,
looking like that.
Yep, very much like this, and he comes back to life. Pinhead is in the movie, but very little. For it, to be a Pinhead movie, you would think there would be more Pinhead. And then the main villain is Julia, and Frank is the second one.
Yeah.
Pinhead's only the third one in it.
Yeah.
And then Christy tricks Pinhead into letting her leave.
Yeah.
She's a sneaky.
She gets out of, she's a good negotiator. She gets out of everything.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be my number 1. It had very little Pinhead, and that's the reason that I moved Hell on Earth up to number 2 is because there is a lot of Pinhead, a lot of cinobytes in there. And then my number 3 is the reboot because there is a lot of cinobytes, a lot of Pinhead characters in that. That's the reason they're there. They basically are a Hellraiser franchise.
So see, since we got these alike, that would be our number 1 together. That would be our number 2 together. We got reboot in the same one, Hell World. So they would definitely, number 11 and number 4 would be somewhere in our top 5. So then we just got either Hellbound or Bloodline. I don't know, what do you think?
I got reboot is with a rating of, if we add them up, it's 8.
Right.
And then you've got Bloodline. That would be a 12.
So
And then Hell World would be a 9. If we was adding them up. Right, 4, 5, yep, 9. So if you was adding them up, reboot would go second. Hell World would go, reboot would go third. And then Hell World would go 4. And then we would put, like she said, the top 5 would be the other one.
Which one?
Probably Bloodline, maybe.
You got yours way down here, though.
That's a 9, and that would be 12 there.
Maybe Hellseeker. We both
Dieter
got them at 7.
is 6, and be 14.
So either Hellseeker or Bloodline.
I'm gonna go with Bloodline.
All right.
We're gonna just call it Bloodline right
There's our
there.
top 5 right there. 1, 2, 11, 7, and 9.
So we got Hellraiser as number 1. We got Hell on Earth as number 2, which is the 3rd movie in the franchise. The reboot, which is the 11th and the final one in the franchise. And then we've got Hellbound. Hell World, which is
maybe it should have been Hellbound in there because Hellbound is number 6 on mine and number 4 on yours.
all right. Well, just flip it around there. Put Hellbound in there.
All right.
Hellbound is number 2 on the list of order they come out in. So that's our top 5.
1, 2, 11, 7, and 4.
Hellraiser, Hell on Earth, the reboot,
Hell World.
Hell World,
And Bloodline.
and Bloodline.
I'm sorry, I did it wrong. We'll get it right, I promise. These numbers are throwing me off. I meant to do this one as Hellbound, which is the number 2 movie. No. Oh my God. Which one is Hell on Earth? What number is that?
Number 3
Number 3.
is our number 5.
I'm getting this right. And then Hellbound is number 2. All right. Sorry. 1, 3, 11, 7, 2. Final answer.
All right, so if you was writing them down, if you had to write them down, it would be the HELLRAISER Part 1.
Yes. Hell on Earth.
Then Hell on Earth, which is Part 3.
Reboot, which is 11.
Then there's a reboot.
Then it's Hell World, number 7. Then it's Hellbound, number 2.
Sure is a lot of hex in this, ain't there?
Hell, that's it.
All right, well, once again, we have watched the movies, and we have ranked them for the 20 people that watch these.
Yeah.
We would love feedback back, and till next time,
Horns up.
we're going to go watch Scream in 2 weeks, by the way.
Horns up.
Oh, we're doing Purge next.